Hey guys, welcome back to The Interceptor. We're here with another Lions War video. This is going to be Lions War Season 60, number 7, and AOH has matched up against GT40. So we were actually making a joke after we won the last war that we were going to face GT40 next, because they were the only podium alliance left that we had not faced. And yeah, now we're facing GT40. It happened literally hours after we were saying that, if not less than that. So we have 2 Hood Wars today. On my main account, I have 4 fights. I have 2 Hood fights, 2 Angela fights, and then on my alt, I have 8 Hood fights. So that's pretty cool. We're going to be starting out here on path 4 against this Dark Phoenix, and this is a pretty standard placement. There's other options for this fight. Obviously, Spiral can do this, Nico can do this. But you got to take willpower off, and they got to deal with reverse controls. You know who doesn't have to deal with reverse controls because he just fails all the petrifies is Hood. Now, unfortunately, we're actually going to get some really, really awful AI in this fight. Like, they're really, really terrible. And Dark Phoenix is just going to spam special attacks into my block this fight, which is very unfortunate. My strategy going in was that I was going to cycle L2s. That L2 got 0 power steals, which is like a 5% chance to happen. Because I have a rank 3 Scarlet Witch Relic, so literally like as much ability accuracy as I physically can. It's like a 56% chance to trigger Power Steal on each hit, and it failed every single time. So that's very, very fun. But there we failed some of the petrifies, so I don't go reverse control. There I just wasn't fast enough on the punish. But we have been cycling, and now we're going to go for our heavy. But she dashes out of it. I actually don't know how she dashed out of that, because in the moment it felt immediate, but I don't know. I've never had that issue with Hood before. I was probably just slow, though, and wasn't paying attention. This one's actually going to be really sloppy. If this was a rank 4, I would have taken a lot more damage, because I know that Peni has increased ability accuracy, so Angela won't be able to shut off all of the auto block. I was just kind of, I don't even know in this fight. Like, it was just such a bad fight by me. Like, there I get auto blocked with 1 charge, which is like bound to eventually happen. Can't hit my parry there. Here I'm going to block. I was ready for the reparry, but I didn't need it. And then here I go for the L2, and that is going to get rid of the glancing node. However, I'm going to keep getting auto-blocked, and I'm actually going to take multiple combos in this fight, because there I didn't notice the auto-block. I was lucky not to get hit, and here she has 4 charges and 9 of the hits left to trigger glancing. So at this point, I'm like, okay, well, like, I'm obviously not going to get those hits in time, so let me just focus on taking the shield down, and then as soon as the glancing is gone, she is going to be dead. We're going to keep hitting here because, I mean, we're still dealing damage. There's no reason to not hit at this point, but the heal block is annoying. We're losing a lot of our willpower healing that we would get in this fight, but I'm pretty sure the fight is over after the special one. So yeah, there we go. Still end at 80%, even though that was pretty sloppy. I guess I would end it at like 70%, 75 if it was a rank 4, but anyways. We have another Hood fight today. You may notice I don't have the synergy, and that is because this second Hood fight right here does not need bullets. Like, I could literally do this fight with 0 bullets very, very easily, and in fact, I'm going in with 5 because I needed Wags because I was using it on the boss island and like the minis in general. So I used 1 Wags on node 42, I used another on 45, and the third one on the boss. So none of them were for my own fights or even for my alt accounts fights. But this is a pretty straightforward fight. We have a regen boost on. I don't even remember when I turned that regen boost on. I might have turned it on for Penny Parker. But this is going to be a pretty straightforward fight with Nova. And yeah, very, very easy matchup. I've done this a ton. Hood is arguably the best counter to this fight in the entire game, because not only does he reduce ability accuracy, so Nova's not going to get as many charges, he also has the assisted intercepts, and if you were to get auto-blocked and parried, he's stun immune while invisible, which is when you would be going for the intercepts anyway. So, in my opinion, he's by far the safest option. Not that there aren't other really good ones, like Kate Bishop is a really good one as well. We have this Red Skull. Red Skull's going to be really annoying here, and this fight is actually going to take a while. It's a bit of a slog to get through because I'm going to lose my armor ups my armor breaks almost instantly every single time as soon as he dashes, so that's fun. And also Red Skull really did not want to go for those light intercepts this fight. I don't know what it was. So far he has gone for 0 out of 2. He's also just going to dash back a bunch, and he's just going to overall be really, really annoying. I got to keep throwing special ones, 1 to get the tactic off of me, and 2 to remove some of the armor up so I can do more damage when I do get the protection down. But once again, it took 30 seconds to get our first intercept of the fight, and at this point we're on pace to timeout, which is just wonderful. But as soon as we get him in the corner, we're able to counter those specials with some heavies and get some crits, do some nice damage. That's another thing about removing the armor ups, is that you'll crit more, because I'm fairly certain that is where his crit resist comes from. There I went for an intercept for seemingly no reason, but luckily I was able to throw the special one at the right time anyways. Of course, he's got to purify them before throwing his special because he's just so nice. And that was actually a 22k crit through protection, so it would have done like 50 plus 60k, something like that. But yeah, we're doing some really, really good damage when we have those 3 Furies at the same time, which is when we're over a bar of power and we've just thrown a special 1. We have 3 Furies. And then I just missed my parry. Oops. I could never die to this fight. I don't know how you would even die to this fight with Angela, because his shock debuffs have 0 duration. Like, you would have to just beat into his block the entire fight to die. That is probably the only way imaginable. I mean, Angela versus Red Skull is like one of the best matchups for Angela, period. Maybe in war, period, on literally any node. I don't think there's any node that it can't even get sketchy on. So, like, I took 7 hits in that one, still ended above 90%. And, okay, I'm going to be showing all these photos now because, unfortunately, after I finished my alt-account fights, the screen recording failed, and I only have the last fight. So the screen recording cuts off about 5 seconds into the the last fight. So I have the whole last fight minus the first 5 seconds, but my first 7 fights did not record, which is insane because the morning before I did this, I cleared out all of the extra stuff on my phone. Like, there was 30, 40, 50 gigabytes of space on my phone when I did this recording, and it still failed, which is just so stupid. But we're going to talk very quickly about the path fights in the other minis and then go to the end. So I'll be really quick about it. We started out on path 7, and we had this Chielth. I used Hood. Let me just show. I'm going to be clicking back and forth between the defender and the nodes. This is the damage reflection node, so Hood basically just can't throw specials. So we just hit her with a bunch of 5-hit combos. You are able to detonate by punishing Chielth's special 1 with a heavy, which was something I was doing every time Chielth threw a special 1. I did practice that in duels to make sure. And yeah, damage reflection never triggered because I never threw a special attack. Very easy fight. Next up, we had Arcade, and he was on the Aggression Fury node. We did PS1 with Hood, and I just started off with 2 parry heavies. He was just under a bar of power, and then I dashed back, started my cycle. He never threw a single special attack. It was like 4 special 2s, and then he was dead. It was probably about a 45-second fight. Next up, we went over to path 6, and I had this 6-star Jessica Jones on the first node, which is the fisticuffs one, and we basically just used the critical setup to get high damage mediums, and I also used my hexes, detonated them. Pretty fast fight. It was like 50 seconds. I was able to throw special 2s because the Fate Seal failed the debuffs going on me and therefore failed the Unstoppable. So that's cool. Next up on the Prowess Puncture Conflictor node here, we have Thanos, and I did this with Hood. Basically, the only different thing I had to do in this matchup is that I couldn't parry, otherwise it was a normal Thanos. I intentionally triggered the Combat Deja Vu prowess right before I would throw a special 2 in order to give me more buffs to nullify or to fate seal, which ended up giving me more bullets back. Next up, we had a Destroyer mini-boss. It was only a rank 3, but it was on the Rich Get Richer, and all I did is I activated Dex at the start of the fight, and then wasted time by hitting into his block until I power gained up to a special 2, at which point I started the L2 cycle, and the Fate Seal actually fails his Unstoppable when he dashes at you. So what I would do is I would hold my block when he dashed at me, wait to see if he triggered an Unstoppable, and then if he didn't, I would just punish him. And yeah, Destroyer also never threw a single special attack. Next up here, we have Shocker on node 41. This is a fight I've shown many times. This is, of course, the Scared Stiff route with Power Focus 2 and Bubble Shield. And this one actually did get a little bit scary because Shocker refused to throw his special 1 in this fight. When I use Hood here, I do prefer to bait special 1s because you have those assisted intercepts with your phase. But I did get rooted while he had like 1.8 bars of power, and I didn't want to push him to special 2 because I didn't have my invisibility ready. So I would just Dex parry, and I had to do that 2 or 3 times. And then I got into my cycle, and he never threw another special attack for the rest of the fight. So a little delay at the start of the fight, but overall the fight was about maybe 50 seconds long. It was still pretty quick because obviously I had the Strife synergy. And then the last one you guys don't get to see is going to be this rank 4 Gentle, which they placed on node 49, which is the Return Policy False Confidence Fight or Flight one, with Missing in Action. Missing in Action never triggered a single time because I had a PS1 active from the Shocker fight. I had one that I was going to use for the Shocker fight and this fight, and we ended up just cycling him down. I did actually slow the fight down a fair bit to make sure that I ended this fight with as many bullets as possible. I went for some extra heavies, but if you don't know the interaction, Hood's Fate Seal fails Gentle's Unstoppable, which triggers every 15th hit, and it fails it 65% of the time. He only got to that 15th hit 3 times in the fight, and I failed it every single time. So Gentle never won Unstoppable once. He threw like maybe 2 or 3 special ones. I didn't let him go to special 2. But yeah, that fight was also fast, but again, I slowed it down a bit to make sure I got some extra heavies. It was probably about a minute 15, but we did walk out with a full yellow bar, so that was pretty nice. And then next here, I'm going to show you the fight that did record, and what the moment that I start showing you is the moment the recording like survived from. So this is going to be a rank 4 Sig 200 future Ant-Man. I'm pretty sure it's Sig 200, but it might not be. It's not important for this matchup though. It's future Ant-Man on node 49 with Hood. I went in with a PS1, and your only source of power gain in this fight is power steals. So the goal is to just use the power steals, get to your L2, and then cycle him down like normal. So I'm going to start the fight in just a second here. Alright, starting it now. So, as you can see, we're just landing as many medium attacks as we can while we have invisibility. There I could have gotten parried. I actually punished the special one late. But we just want to wait for our invisibility to come back. We're going to trigger it, and then we're just going to hit him with as many mediums as we can during the invisibility. There we get to our special 2, but we very importantly do not throw it. If you threw it right there, then I would not have gotten the power back, and I would have screwed myself. So it's very, very important that in that scenario right there, I did not do it. Now, unfortunately, I did get power drained back under 2 bars of power, but we are just going to wait until we get some better RNG on the power steals, and then we are going to get into our L2 cycle pretty soon. But as you can see, without throwing a single special 2 yet this fight, we have him under 50% health. So it's going very well. And then here we're going to get it. We're going to get to our special 2, and we did have enough duration left in my invisibility for it to land there. And then, yeah, we're just going to keep power stealing, keep cycling L2s, and I believe we're going to go one more special 2 as soon as he dashes at me. There we go. And now we just need to land a heavy, which I was saving my striker for. So we're going to go medium into striker, into heavy, and the fight does go down. And that is a fight I was really scared of, honestly. Like, that's the one fight of the war I thought I might die to. But we walk out of it with 77% health, and it was a clean fight. Okay, now obviously we lost. It's GT40. We had a rough war, but hey, you know what? It's better than the war against Noon, because in that one we died 20 times. So in this one, we at least improved upon that. I didn't get a screenshot after they cleared, but I'm fairly certain they ended with 2 deaths. I don't know. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, they won. We knew they were going to win. As soon as we matched, we were like, oh, okay, we're 4-3 now. Which sucks, but we're still going to be in top 10. And also, we've now faced all 3 of the podium alliances, which is pretty nice, because now we're guaranteed to not have to face any more in the last 5 wars. So we will definitely take that. That's okay. And considering that we have the 3 hardest matchups of the season out of the way already, and we're still in top 10, that's pretty damn good. We're pretty happy with that. So that is going to be all for today. We are now 4-3 on the season. I still have just the 1 death, which was on my main account, still deathless on my alt, or still 0 deaths on my alt. And my PSR is going to be 87 out of 88 fights soloed this season, or 99%. And my main is at 39 out of 40 soloed, and my alt is at 48 out of 48 soloed. So my deathless streak is going to be at 59 fights after this war, with a active streak of 25 on my main and 61 on my alt. That is going to be all for today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.